Okay, if AI automation agencies really work, why is everyone selling courses about them? And this is the first time I'm publicly sharing the story of Futureflow AI and how I built it to 50,000 monthly recurring revenue, teaching 40,000 people to leverage AI, and why I burned it all down at 26. I had everything, team of 9, masterminds, enterprise clients, but I realized I was a part of the problem. Teaching AI instead of using it, selling dreams instead of building products. So I killed it. Welcome to AI, Chris Lee, but let me start from the beginning. I guess I better start at the start. I've always had a weird relationship with success. I really want to help my mom. She divorced when I was 5 years old and supported me over 20, and that was my real motivation. I was a UX designer at my third failed startup in Seoul. It's really hard to take pride in beautiful interfaces nobody uses, so really got into escaping instead. And my dream was just to survive, make just enough money to pay rent, play Monster Hunter World until 4 a.m. and just pretend that tomorrow would be different. And after 3 years of startup dying around me, I was done. So I was 24 at the time, and I was living in this tiny apartment in Seoul with my mom. And I kind of got to a point where I wanted to be dead or different. I wanted to build something more substantial, both for my own sanity and opportunities, but also to prove I wasn't just another failed designer, creating, a space for me to actually matter for my mom and for my family. If not, just I locked myself in that apartment and got to work. I'm actually in Vancouver now, different country and different life. The vision was simple, run a web agency, but it was a grind. Something that a lot of people don't realize when you start something is how much work goes in behind the scenes. I would sit at my desk for 16 hours a day, no workout, no healthy food, just inside my room. And I would be learning, trying to put contents out in the world and trying to speak to people, give value, just basically prove I knew something. And something I didn't mention is a year prior to this, I wanted to learn a web agency. I wanted to do all these things, and I used it to call startups, 100+ startups, and say, hey, I can help you build your website. And I had no idea, to be honest, what I was doing. It was just like that early messiness. And I probably got on 100+ calls, rejected on every single one of them over 3. So no income for thousands of hours put in. So this was kind of around the same time, but I was also getting curious. So 2022, GPT drops. I'm just curious because I'm lazy. I really want to find ways to optimize my process. And I find a few case studies about integrating AI with web agencies. And I was like, how do I find this intersection? I've been trying to push web agency services for so long, but I discovered AI could change everything. So why don't I combine the two? So I was like, okay, I can learn a web agency using AI. And then I wrote one blog post that changed everything. And that was when Futureflow was born. I had 0 followers, 0 credibility, nothing substantial. They came and went, and I didn't really. I was back to square one. So I wrote down a blog article about this, about integrating AI with web agencies. Futureflow is Korean business, but Koreans are all around the world. US, Canada, UAE, and the UK, they all could read it. That post went viral, top ranking on the platform overnight, and 10,000 views in a week. The article was called How I Learned Web Agency Using AI. That momentum lasted for over 2 years and becomes the backbone of Futureflow. So yeah, that was a real cool journey, and that only happened by putting myself out there and just being willing to do whatever it took to actually make it happen. So in some respects, I probably was unqualified, but I was willing to put in the work and learn and walk the walk. From there, the growth was insane. I think it was a timing thing, kind of just before everyone realized AI was changing everything. It did help that everyone was going online. There was big boom in that market. First thing first, the agency scale. Tons of leads came from that post, and I started a YouTube channel too. My content, learning web agency using AI, simple, direct. After tons of projects with 3 team members, we were making good money from the agency work. And then someone came to me, hey Taehyun, that's my Korean name. Can you teach me your skills? I don't need money. I can work for you. Just want to learn your mindset and skills. I saw my previous self in him, desperate but hungry. So I taught him everything. And he was doing better than me within months. I was really proud of him and myself. This was really meaningful, more meaningful than the agency work itself. And that unlocked a lot. It shows me people wanted to learn this. And finally, we made AI education program. First month, I reached $10,000 teaching. And then after 6 months, we reached 50,000 average. And 4 weeks masterminds at $2,000 every month. 20 to 30 people participated. So yeah, within just 6 months, we went from 0 to 50,000 MRR, and I was still just figuring it out. I was just willing to learn as much as I possibly could about everything that was involved, and the lessons, the failure as well, and just keep moving forward. And I knew exactly why it was working. Something I feel like I got right in that process was getting our product market fit. The offer was quite good. Teaching people to integrate AI into their business, inspiring the students, and brings people in, leveraging my story into marketing. I knew what psychologically made people respond well. I knew they liked the transformation story. Just game addiction guy builds AI businesses. That was my real story that resonated. All of these things led to more exposure on social, which led to more students coming in and basically more growth. So that's something I feel like I did quite well in AI education that nobody talks about. At the bottom level, people buying AI courses, hoping to change their lives. And middle level, 30%, people who took courses, now teaching what they learned. And upper middle, 50%, people teaching others how to teach AI. And top level, 5%, people actually building things with AI. First, I started at the bottom. Then I got to top for a very short time, actually building with AI, but then I jumped to upper middle. Why? Because this is more easy and gets faster results. Because selling dreams pays better than execution. And I was there, upper middle, and making 50,000 a month teaching people who then teach others. Money flows up and dreams flow down. And here's the part that still bothers me. My course was $2,000. My competitor course was $1,000. We were all selling the same dream. Learn AI, change your life, make money online. That's it. These 3 steps truly scam. But here's the question nobody asks. If AI automation agencies really work, why is everyone selling courses about them? If the AI SaaS model is so profitable, why pivot to education? Some students made real money, $10,000, $20,000, but never exceeded me. Never. You know why? Because I was teaching, not building anymore. I had 1,400 community members and 100 plus mastermind members. You know, what percentage actually bullshit something that made money? Maybe 2%, maybe. My daily reality became a joke. My daily routine became morning, answer 50 questions about AI opportunities. Afternoon, create courses, contents about AI for business. Evening, mastermind course teaching AI transformation. I was teaching AI every day. But when did I last build something with AI? When did I last get rejected by a customer? When did I last ship a product? Never. I was teaching swimming from the poolside, dry. And that's when success became my enemy. We were at 50,000 MRR constantly. I was 26. Most people my age were still figuring out their lives. I had financial freedom, respect in the Korean startup scene, neighbor AI ambassador status. I was speaking in university. Companies were applying me out for workshops. But there were weeks during the period where I had to fake enthusiasm, teaching the same frameworks, the same promises, the same dreams. No one in the team really knew. And maybe that's something I would share more openly now, to be able to share the load and actively work together. But I probably felt like I had to just figure it out myself. When your back's against the word of success, not failure, you realize something. Success can be a prison too. Then when students ask me a simple question, kind of what happened was a student asked me, Taehyun, what was the last things you built with AI? And I couldn't answer. I realized I was learning an education business about AI, not an AI business. There's a difference. One teaches potential, the other create value. The business was profitable, probably doing 600,000 annually in revenue with good margins. But fire wasn't in my heart like it had been from years before. I think I was ready to stop lying. The inflection point was I read a book called The Obstacle is the Way. There was one chapter in particular about how obstacles aren't in your way, they are your way. And I realized, teaching had been my whole life, but then suddenly it was just a layer I need to peel off to get closer to where I was meant to be. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I pulled back and was like, Futureflow is done, And I had a choice. Of course, I could have sold it and I could have automated, but because I was so central to the business at that point, I was the face, the teacher, the product. Really, it was probably going to take a year or two to get it back to the point where it was fully self-sufficient. I didn't want to do an earn-out where I had to stay on working in the business for several years. And I didn't want to sell people something I didn't believe in anymore. That's the point. So about 8 or 9 months later, after planning the exit, I had a moment of complete honesty with myself. That week, I sent a final email to 40,000 subscribers and shut down the mastermind and told my team we were done and booked a one-way ticket to Vancouver. But I couldn't just abandon my team. And so what we ended up doing was I gave my previous enterprise level project to my team, not the teaching businesses, the actual client work. They all ended up taking their own clients. I kind of fed them the last projects we had because I felt a responsibility for stripping them from their income when they needed it. Unfortunately, they are probably all earning more than they did at Futureflow, and that's a nice sentiment. But yeah, it didn't feel like it at that time. I felt a lot of responsibility for them, and that's when AI Chris Lee was born. The concept is simple. Ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. Every week, I pick an idea, build it, try to sell it, document everything, especially the failures. Like a CHICKENSHOT, an AI tool that makes chicken photos more appetizing for restaurants. $100 for full chicken image transformation in delivery apps. Stupidest idea ever. That's the point. Let me show you exactly how this works. Day 1, build basic sellable website. If someone orders, we do it manually first and then automate later. And day 2 to 4, outreach Vancouver or chicken restaurant. And then BC, and then Canada, and then US. Hi, I'm Chris from Vancouver. Your food looks great, but your DoorDash photos could be better. Can I send a few free photos? This is free, just my present. And 100 calls per day. Day 5, get data and iterate. Even if only 8% convert at $100 one-time payment, that's revenue. Then we scale to content marketing or ads and automate it. Someone told me, you're crazy, too childish. But I want to prove they're wrong. That's what I do now. Pick boring ideas, execute them, show everything. Looking back, there's things I'd change it. That kind of leads me to the end of that journey. It set me up with a lot of connections and ideas, and I'm very grateful for the journey. I wouldn't do it any differently, but if I did do it different, here's a few things that I would have changed. I probably, to be honest, wouldn't build an education business. I'd pick a different model that scales with less teaching and more building. But that's just me now. I will make a movement. People never consume courses, never finish lectures. They need to execute directly. Execution. If I had still learning the education business, I would actually building things while teaching. Failures more than successes. And price based on results, not dreams. And run much leaner, more honestly. I would also stay focused on one core truth. Ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. Update it frequently, but not try to teach too much or promise too much until the students were actually building. This journey taught me what really matters. Yeah, that's the story of Futureflow. And it was actually through this journey that I realized how important it is to show reality, not potential, not dreams. When things are hitting the fan, when you're out of ideas, when you've been rejected 100 times, that's the content that actually helps people. I kept everything perfect on the surface, but I wish I hadn't. Actually, it's kind of funny now because AI Chris Lee, the new project I'm working on, was really born in those years. It's for people who want to build, not learn, who want to execute, not plan, who want to fail fast and find what works. So here's my challenges to you. If you are still watching this 20 minutes video, here's my question. While you're watching this, someone shipped a product. Someone made 10 cold calls. Someone got rejected and tried again. This week, I'm actually building CHICKENSHOT, the chicken image generator, not hypothetically, actually, because even the stupidest idea with execution beats the best idea without it. I want to one more time say this. Even the stupidest idea with execution beats the best idea without it. You can watch me fail, or you can go build something yourself. One of us will accidentally make money. That's about it. If you want to keep following along with this journey of mine, subscribe, and I hope you start executing, not just learning. Ideas are worthless. Execution is everything.